transforming a space from an idle land to affordable functional homes. She shares her journey from inception to construction of Lifestyle Heights. The cherry on top is off-plan selling and how clients' feedback has helped improve the product along the way. Let's listen in.
We met with Homebridge back in 2007 because our first project kicked off in 2008 in Syokimau. And when we met with the proprietor, Mr. Karoki, you could sense somebody who's been in development but is looking to do a lot more. His passion towards construction is not just money driven, it's more like changing lives. When you meet somebody who wants to sort of transform the space in which he wants to participate in, then you get the feeling that he wants a lot more out of just doing a development. And that's where our relationship started. And it's been a long, fruitful relationship of consultants and a developer who wants to reach to the skies. And we're very proud to have helped him create the brand that is Lifestyle, because we could see the passion with which he wanted. And that's where, in fact, the name Lifestyle came from the fact that he wanted to transform how people were living. He had gone around and done a few projects, but he felt, no, this is not enough. So I said to him, let's transform lives by going into the affordable market space that really needed, some people who can truly, truly transform the space. It's not easy working in the affordable housing state, balancing costs, beauty of architecture, and all the other dynamics that happen around the construction. It's not very easy. But when you have the right team, you have the right developer, the right contractors, then somehow it all comes together and then you're able to get something beautiful out of it. In 2008 was our first one, where we did the Lifestyle Gardens that is at Syokimau. Beautiful project. It was our first, about 75 homes. That was beautiful, sold out within 2 years of construction and sales. And then we quickly moved on to Lifestyle Terraces, also in Syokimau. Apartments, 2 and 3 bedroom. Market-driven project, purely market-driven project. And in a market-driven project, you have to be very alive to the needs of the customers if you're going to hit it right there at the point. And we quickly moved on from there into Tatu City, where we are doing Lifestyle Heights. Again, another beautiful project, also very market-driven, that has found us in the middle of COVID. So you can imagine the challenges and how the developer, contractor, and consultants had to rise up to the challenges that have come with COVID and the lack of sales. And of course, we've done a few others, but those are the critical main ones. We've done Lifestyle Signature, that is in Lavington. Those are luxury homes in the middle of Lavington. Beautiful project, came out beautifully. Then over and above that is a few other, here and there, small pockets, but those are the main major projects that we are doing. Usually choosing an architect is not an easy thing because it's a long relationship and the two have to gel. The consultant and the developer have to gel so that architect can understand the needs and where it is that the developer wants to go, and the architect has the capacity to reach to that level that the developer wants to reach. It's a delicate relationship. And finding a good architect sometimes is a bit tough for developers. Touch and go, you start on this project, you're not happy, you move to another one, like that. It's not easy, but I always say referrals are amongst the best ways that you can get reference, because then you get to know what is also the psychology of that particular architect when you hear from their experience from somebody else. So I can tell you without a doubt, Lifestyle was brought to us by a client as well, who referred them to us. A client also who we had worked with for a long period of time, for over 18 years, is the one who referred Lifestyle to us and told him this is how we work. And he was happy when he came to us that we personalize our projects very much. And sometimes that's what clients need. You have to be there and you have to be present all the time. Speaking in our experience with Lifestyle, especially because of the kind of projects that we do together, which are market-driven projects, you want to avoid variations at all costs. You want to get it right at the drawing table. You want to get it right before the final bills of quantities are done and before tender goes out. Actually, in our experience with Lifestyle, You want to only consider variations because there are issues that arise on site that you could not foresee before you started design. You could not foresee. For instance, maybe the day we break ground, we find a big chunk of rock in the middle of somewhere. So a slight variation on excavation has to ensue because, you know, breaking rock is expensive. But I can tell you in Lifestyle, even before that rock is broken, we will have to go back first and figure out how else can we do it without incurring that cost of that variation. Variations can really distort the market price of a unit. So they have to be very controlled and discouraged at all costs in market-driven projects, and especially those in the affordable housing segment. So that's very critical. So we balance the variations very well. We are always, you know, enthusiastic and happy to deal with our client Lifestyle because they now understand these things. Sometimes developers maybe don't understand it and they think it's okay to move around walls during construction, but the overall impact of it at final account is so significant that it leads a lot of developers and contractors to go into disputes. Most of the disputes actually that arise on sites are to do with variations. So consultants have a duty to manage variations as far as possible. And actually, I'll tell you, in our training, it is advisable that by the time a contractor hits the ground, everything has been resolved. And that is why normally architects will say, you know, by the time the client hits the ground, 70% of the work has been done. And that is because you have really thrashed out every detail by the time the contractor goes to site. Our relationship with Lifestyle is such that we are almost like partners. Yeah, we're involved in the project from inception through construction process, so we manage the contract as well. We do contract management. We are there even at the end, after the contractor has even left the site. We still help the client with any arising issues, you know, with his team that has now taken over the site. So we are part of the process from the beginning to the end. And it's very critical because there's a lot of learning when you stay around a project, even as a consultant. There's a lot of learning. You get to get feedback from clients, which informs your next project, you know, and things like that. So it's a process we are fully involved. For instance, in Lifestyle, Homebridge has put a team of consultants within themselves who monitor how their pre-sales are going. And every feedback they get, they give it back to the design team, which is very critical. And that for us informs any changes that may be required even before we go to site. So we keep improving. So from a design point of view, it's very good. We improve, and our final product by the time we go to site has captured as much feedback as possible. In fact, it works out almost like a feasibility. It's like a bit like you test the market a little bit. They come back to you, you improve. Somebody comes and says, I want to buy this unit, but I wish the kitchen was like this. That information is relayed back to the consultants, to us, and we look at the possibility and say, yeah, maybe they have a point. Let's add this and let's add that. And that's why you find in Lifestyle, the units, they're so accommodating functionally, you know, because in the end, a home is about functionality. The only way we strike that actual functionality in a space of an affordable house is because of the feedback we get. So then you balance out everything. So that is how we have managed to, you know, to get the units selling and going and getting a unit product that people actually love because it's functional for them. For us to hit that functional element, it has meant that we have received adequate feedback. So we love that there's off-plan selling at Lifestyle because it informs our design as well. So the industry we're operating in has been interesting. Actually, you'll find a lot of Kenyans have been, let me say, financially hurt, to put it in a delicate way, in situations where they go and buy off-plan, but they never ever get to see their units. And, you know, they have to end up in court or in arbitration. And we are seeing an increase in that phenomena. It's really, really increased. A lot of developers advertising, come and buy off-plan, but without the intent to actually deliver, or for whatever reason or whatever crisis that they have encountered, are unable to deliver. And then they're unable to give back the money that they have already taken in form of pre-sales. We've seen that a lot in the industry. It's something that the government needs to do about it. And I just want to encourage your viewers that before you go and buy a unit off plan, you must get the history of the developer. you must at least make sure you have seen 2 or 3 or 4 other developments they have done, and preferably get, a reference point of view from somebody who has actually dealt with that developer. I really encourage buyers to do that. And from our end as consultants, I encourage my clients to create these brands like we have done for Lifestyle. Because when you create a brand, you create trust in people. You create trust because you have a track record. It's a track record that can be seen. It's a track record that has grown over a period of time. That's what brands do. And in the development world, it's no different. Developers must create that track record to create the trust that a lot of Kenyans are beginning to lose. And I'm happy at least we have a client in Homebridge who has, taken those steps and taken them seriously and created a brand that is Lifestyle. And we are really proud to be associated with Homebridge, which is the developer for Lifestyle homes.